issue. Like this is what I truly think is my pain right now. Ask them, what do you think you need to do about this problem? Who do you need to talk to? As a coach, again, I'm biting my tongue. I want my son to succeed. He had some issues in his basketball game today. He was freaking out. He's 9 years old. I understand this. This is like he's struggling to control his emotions. But by asking, later on when I see him later on, I'm going to ask him, hey, how do you feel about the game? He's going to say, well, this is what happened. This person wasn't passing. It's like, well, what do you think you need to do? He needs to pass it. It's like, no, what do you think, you need to do to sort of help this situation out? He's like, I don't know, talk to him, probably. It's like, well, what if he doesn't listen? It's like, well, how else can you help this situation? Talk to the coach, ask him to come up with the solutions. Here's the reality. Your children are more likely to act on a solution if it's their idea. This is true. I can give you the answer, but it's going to be so much more potent if they come up with the answer because it's their idea. All right? Remember, teens, they prioritize identity, success, personal growth, and by coming up with these ideas, they're really going to want to act on it because it's their idea. It's giving them individuality. This is something they value. And then finally, how can I help you with whatever it is that you need? Don't tell them what you're going to do. Ask them, okay, so you know all this, like how can I help you? What do you need? And they're like, well, I don't know. You talked about your coach. What do you need me to do anything? Ask them, what is it that they need? Of course you know the answer, but to ask them, they're going to feel like they have like a piece, and they're going to be behind the drivers or the driving wheel. They're going to have a piece of that outcome. It really, really does work. An affirmation statement, guys. This is something which we should be able to have in the morning and the afternoon, and whenever we need some help in life. Basically, an affirmation statement. It's something that it's written in first person. It comes written with positivity as opposed to negativity. It's something with an emotional charge. When you say it, it makes you feel something. And finally, it's something that we have to say in the present tense. There are examples right here. I can, I will, end of story. I can, I will, end of story. This is going to happen. I'm doing this. Just verbalizing that. If you say it enough times, soon enough, you will believe it. When I say something like I can, I will, end of story, I feel silly. But the more I say it, the more my emotions change, and I'm like, I can do whatever I want. Other examples, I have the power to create change. Is this true? Can you, child, create change? Can you create change?
Yeah, in a small way.
You can create change. What if you did small changes every single day? What would it become? A big change. And this is sort of the journey to the Olympic Games. Small goals every single day, mini microscopic goals every single day that grow into this thing every week and every month and 4 years later and 10,000 hours later, blah, 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 right? Again, these are really, really, really big things. And just saying, like, when something happens, I don't sweat the small stuff. This is small. It doesn't matter. Saying it, just verbalizing it, very, very, very powerful. But it has to become a habit. We're going to talk about little habits very soon. Does anybody have any questions about affirmation statements?
Did you do it?
Yes. When I brush my teeth every single morning, for many years, I would just write down on A4 paper like, smile. So I'm brushing my teeth, I'm already smiling. Or when, like on my bedroom door, I have my goal time, this is what I will achieve. So every single day when I'm walking out of my room, I have to see this before I walk out. Whether I want to or not, I see it. It's there, I wrote it down. Writing your goals and putting it in 3 different places, like your bathroom, the back of your inside of your door of your room, and maybe the garage just before you step out of the house. the more times you see this, the more likely it is for you to want it or to be reminded of it. And moments when you don't feel like running or swimming or doing whatever it is that you want to do, the more you see it, it sort of guilt trips you, right? And again, if you don't want to do it, you might say, well, it's like, okay, if you want to practice music today, that's okay. I bet Susan is probably practicing today. It's guilt tripping them in an indirect way. All right, there are tricks. Any other questions about this?
I really don't think that teenagers accept that the Susan is doing it while you are not. I feel like my son does not like me talking about other kids. He feels like it's judgmental and comparing. So I don't know. For that, it's hard to.
It might be hard if it's something that they don't actually want to do or they don't want to be doing. I understand where you're going. Like it could be that way, but again, I guess this tone and the way you sort of say it's like, again, like if I forced my child to swim, then I know. Here's the deal about forcing anybody to do anything. Like forcing that girl to be over here, her face is on the wall. She doesn't really want to do it. You know, like, you gotta be somewhere, right? Hey, go to sleep. This is all boring enough. Forcing someone to do something is it's against their will. And here's the deal: if the more you force somebody to do something that they don't want to do, the more they're going to find ways to not do the work. So essentially, in doing the activity, it's the anti-teacher. You're teaching them to quit or to get out of doing something. If you do this every single day enough, you're actually helping your child become a quitter because they're looking for ways to quit. I don't want to do this, and in effect, what's happening is I'm learning the opposite of the lessons that I should be learning. By making my son do something or making someone do something, they are going to fight me in small ways. Here's the reality. When I was a child, I swam because it was fun. When I went to university, I did it because I wanted to be the best in the world, but I was also a semi-professional, and if I didn't do it, then I would lose funding and I could not continue this dream. I didn't really like it when I did it professionally. I had to do it. People depended on me financially, and my dream depended on it. And it wasn't until I lost my hair and ended my career that I actually understood that swimming all along was just a teacher of life. It was nothing but a teacher of life. I go to practice, I see a challenge, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that, but everyone else around me is doing it. It's like, okay, well, we're going to do this together and we're going to get through this. And the choice of engaging the challenge and every single day is what sort of built me up to this position to be great. Now imagine somebody who in a situation doesn't want to engage with the challenge, and they do this every single day. They're just moving away from the lessons that you actually want them to learn, which is to fight. The only way you can lose in life is to do nothing. The only way to lose or to be a loser is to do nothing and to quit. That is a true loser, somebody who gave up, somebody who's living under the bridge. And I'll say not everybody living under the bridge are losers in life. Circumstances happen, but to quit is truly, all right, to lose. Think about our relationships, love, friendship. Whatever it is that you do, if you do it long enough, it gets it could get pretty boring. Relationships, love, or even work or a situation, like if you go far enough down this rabbit hole, you're going to be met with this wall. It's like, well, how do I be better than this? Well, what, swimming or sports or any activity? If you go far enough into it, it forces you to find ways to become better. Because in life, as I try to explain to my son, there is no quitting. If you quit, if I as a parent quit my job and decided to do nothing more, like what would happen? It's like, I don't know what would happen. Well, would we have this house? It's like, no, we wouldn't have this house. What would happen to you if you didn't have a place to sleep? It's like, well, I don't, right. This is definitely age sensitive. Right? But like if you go far enough, you sort of want them to raise awareness, like, look, I don't care what it is that you do in life. I don't care what it is that you love or what your passion is. Whatever that passion is, I want that to be a vehicle to teach you to not quit in life. Because one day when you're a parent, as the former president of Serbia said, when you become responsible over something, that is when you elevate, you grow, because you cannot quit. We are not allowed to quit. I'm staring at you, but I'm not really staring at you. Don't, hey, shh. Does that make sense?
So, you know, you've probably seen other athletes drop out when you were competing, like people who started out being as passionate about swimming as you were, but they burnt out. So what really differentiated you? I mean, like I'm asking the same question, but in 6 different ways, but like, you know, how do you get up and, you know, like, motivate yourself to go past that?
You ask yourself, do I want this? Do I want this? Why do you want it? Why is this important? What am I willing to sacrifice for this? And I had back surgery, you know, after I was a world champion. I had back surgery, and everyone told me I would never have to race again because I've achieved everything. And that if I continued this sport, it could lead to paralysis. And guess what I did? I kept going. I'm an idiot. I never said you're listening to a wise person. I'm flawed, I make mistakes, I follow my heart, but this is something that I wanted. And like, why is this important? I don't know, it's just what my heart wanted. I just really want to do this, and I cannot sleep if I don't do this. That was sort of my path. And again, I do believe that everybody is exceptional in something, but they need to be able to try everything to be able to find that one thing that they will not quit on, because it's that important. How do you find that? Well, I would start with, what is important? Ask questions like, what do you really like to do? Do you feel like you have opportunity to do that? And what are you willing to sacrifice so that you can do that? It's important to ask them, what are you willing to sacrifice? Because if we go back to the time management sheet, we don't have enough time in the day. We have to make decisions. Which one of these things are you willing to sacrifice for that thing that's really important to you? Because if we put that thing in, then you're never going to be 100% in that thing that's, for me, swimming. If I were to learn how to play the guitar, I probably would not be as successful in the swimming because I didn't have enough time. I would have to live with being happy at 80% success, maybe. I don't know. All right. Hey, bouncing back from a setback, if you do anything long enough, you sort of become a philosopher. You know, and one of my favorite quotes was from a drunk named Oscar Wilde. And in Oscar Wilde, he said that there are 2 tragedies in life. One tragedy is to achieve your goal. And the other tragedy is to not achieve your goal. When you achieve your goal, what happens is you lose the vision, you lose the fire, you lose that thing that's driving you. And if you don't achieve your goal, what happens is you're sad because you didn't achieve the goal. One of 2 things is always going to happen. You're either going to achieve something or you're not, and both of them are going to be tragic in their own ways. It's very, very, very good to lose, because from every single loss you learn something. Now, just out of curiosity, how would you feel if you got everything that you ever wanted the very moment when you said it? Would you be happy?
It would be very boring.
I don't even know her name, and she said the right thing. Life would be boring if we got everything that we wanted. We want it to be hard. And one thing I always bring up to children, it's like, hey, like, what's your favorite video game? They would say, I don't know, whatever. Let's just for example, let's just say Tetris. Tetris is my favorite video game, said no one ever until now. But imagine playing Tetris level 1 every day, all day, forever. Would that be interesting? No. You want it to go to level 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 99. You want this because we want it to get harder. We actually do want tests to get harder, because if it didn't get harder, it would be boring. We do want it to get harder. But what happens when it gets too hard and we cannot pass something? And this is sort of what an activity that you love. If you choose the right activity, it will push you to push beyond those barriers and those blocks to where we got to figure it out. All right. Now, everybody faces adversity, which is losing or failing. And I say that it is a gift in disguise coming in different forms. It's a growing opportunity. It builds resilience. It shifts perspectives. And it provides a catalyst of change. Whenever my clients come to me and say I didn't achieve my goal or I lost or whatever, I say good. And they look at me like I'm crazy. I tell them good. I'm glad you lost. And you're coming to me to talk about it just because you're angry. Tell me more. Why are you angry? Oh, you care. Okay. Well, let's talk about what happened. What is it that you think you could do better? Raising awareness about their process. You ask them, how can I help you at the very end? If they raise awareness that they were sick for an entire month, they're going to go into this competition or whatever and realize, what, I probably wasn't as prepared as I would have liked to have been. All right. So losing is very good. And again, here's just an example of something that I speak with that I ask my clients. It says, during difficult moments, and you circle, I feel excited by the challenge, or I feel defeated by the pressure. And based on whatever it was that they circled, I asked, what is the toughest loss or most disappointing performance you've ever had? You have them write it out. What was the toughest loss or most difficult performance? What were the lessons that you learned from it? We all learned from something. We can all say that nothing was perfect. There's always something that we can learn from it. All right. What is an example of how you overcame a personal challenge in your sport or activity? Again, they're reminding themselves of something that they did or reasons why they have achieved success in something that they can do it again. If you did it once, you can replicate it. All right. And finally, how did it feel when you achieved success after facing adversity? When I fell, all right, when I had back surgery, and then made it to the Olympic final a year and a half later, for me, that is the second greatest thing that I've ever achieved in my life. Because nobody ever in history had done it. That was my second greatest achievement. My greatest achievement was having my son. And I truly do believe that. But doing something, I needed that back surgery to be grateful for that process and everybody that was in it, just because I realized what it took to get there and that I lost it all like this and I worked towards to get back. I did it. And just making that Olympic final, it was maybe the most gratifying moment of my professional life. I was fourth. It's the worst place to get. Sometimes you wish you were eighth. You didn't even have a chance in the middle. But when you're fourth, all right. In developing a positive mindset, we sort of talked about it's really, really important to catch yourself saying negative things. I would take my son to the park and he would just shoot baskets, and whenever he would miss a free throw, I see him he's hitting his foot down, he's getting really, really angry. And I'm what are you angry about? We're not doing that. We're not going to say or feel or show negativity on your face. All right. There's different things that we're going to talk about. There's a 14-day challenge that I really want you to try with your kids. It is incredibly powerful. You want to challenge or manage the validity of the thoughts that they're feeling. And again, take positive actions and build support. Surround yourselves with people that are positive people and that will help others. When I was feeling very negative or depressed in life, I found that helping other people was something that made me feel better. It works. If your child ever feels bad about themselves, all right, take them somewhere where they're going to help other people, whether it's a food place where you're feeding the homeless or whatever. I literally found that helping other people in any other way, it just made me feel really, really good. And if you really think they've got it too good in life, take them somewhere where people don't live so great. Yeah. In any case, having a fixed mindset is somebody who's closed off and said, I'll never be that smart, I know best, this is good enough, I want to avoid making mistakes, or I give up. This is fixed. There is no movability. Whereas the growth mindset is my feedback is valuable. I improve or practice. I won't give up. Is this my best work? And mistakes help me learn. I'm not ashamed to you that I've been working with a psychologist, a therapist for years. I don't think I need my therapist anymore. But every time I talk to her, I sort of raise awareness about something that's been bothering me. And by unlocking this pain in my life, I'm able to go into other things in my life with a little bit more freedom, just because I took that pain off myself. But I know that I'm not perfect. I know that I know that I'm not great. I know that there is so many things that I can fix. And again, just with my girlfriend yesterday, I started dancing. I want to learn how to dance with her, and I was incredibly nervous. But I told the instructor, I'm going to be terrible, but I'm coachable. I'm willing to learn. And just to say I'm coachable, it's like, okay, well, now I have to sort of live up to that, because I don't want to appear uncoachable, right? A little bit of humility in asking for help, or asking for ways that I could be better, or for an opinion, it really goes a long way. That is a growth mindset. With that said, the 14-day challenge, this is incredibly effective. For 14 days, I made 2 columns, 1 to 14. On the left side, it says things that you're good at, and on the right side, it says accomplishments. Every single day, if your child, or even for yourselves, try it. For 14 days, just write one thing that you're good at and one thing that you accomplished. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to what degree you're good at something or what you accomplished. It could be anything, all right? But to write one thing that you're good at, one thing that you accomplished every single day. On day 2, you're going to revisit this, and you're going to see the first things that you wrote, and you're going to write a second thing. On day 3, you're going to write a third thing. By the time you get to day 14, you will literally visit that board, and you will see 13 things that you're good at and 13 things that you accomplished before you attach the 14th thing. By looking at this every single day, what's going to happen is after 2 weeks, you're going to see that, you know what, like, maybe I'm not so great at this one thing, but I've got a lot of reasons to believe that I can achieve whatever it is that I want, because I've achieved all these things. I'm good at all these things, and I've accomplished all these things. The degree of how good you are at it doesn't matter. What you've accomplished, it doesn't matter. But the simple fact that, the things that I'm good at, I believe I'm a good cook. Probably not. But in my mind, I think I am. And the more times I do these things and just write positive things about myself, the better I feel. And my mindset all of a sudden shifts. It really does work. This isn't my idea. You're going to find a million books out there that talk about this. This is a condensed form. It truly does work.
Yeah, this is another way of affirmative statement.
It is.
Yeah.
Positive self-talk. Mm-hmm. The way we talk to ourselves is really important. For many years, I have this, if you want to Google David Goggins, incredible story about a guy, David Goggins, an unreal book about a person who literally negatively talks himself into doing these incredible things, and he has, and for many years I've been this way to myself. I am the most critical person in the world to myself. And with my therapist over many years, I've talked about, like, how has this been serving me, talking so negatively about myself. Well, I got things done, but how do I feel about myself? Probably not great.
I do something, it's really little, but I have a monthly to-do list, but I label it as my ta-da list. So at the end of the month, when I check everything off, I'm like, ta-da, look at all those things I got accomplished. Wow. And it just changes my mindset of what they are.
Especially if you can see it visually. Yeah. It's incredible. Yeah. If you can see something visually, it's like, well, maybe I don't suck.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, I get stuff done.
For a long time with my brother, every day that we would connect, 3 things that you're grateful for. I'm grateful for my health, I'm grateful for my family, I'm grateful for my son. Like, just saying what you're grateful for, it's like, I've got a lot of things to be grateful for. Yeah. It really does work. Self-positivity, very, very important. Do we have any questions? Yes.
So my observation here